Welcome to rSlash Offmychest, where OP starts sleeping with his MILF Landlady. Our next Reddit post is from Material Pirate. Long story short, I moved into a new place after graduating college. I got a job offer and had to find a place ASAP. I went to Craigslist and found a rental. The landlord is super nice. She's late 50s, divorced, and seems a tad lonely. Well, the first month was normal. There was one night that I got really drunk and went down to the kitchen to get some ice for my next cocktail. My landlord was watching True Detective Season 1. Honestly, I love that show, and I stood there watching for a few minutes. My landlord said, "I am also drinking if you want to watch the show." Honestly, if I was sober, I would have probably said no, but she was at the back end of Season 1, and it's so good, so I said yes. The first few episodes were normal. We barely spoke. She stood up to get more wine, and when she sat back down on the couch, she sat right next to me. I already knew where this was going and was playing both sides in my head. She's my landlord. If we hook up, who knows what happens after? And if I say no, she might hate me. Halfway through the third episode, she put her hand on my leg. I essentially said, "F it," and made a move. We banged on the sofa and oh geez. All right, YouTube. He finished on her face. It was a lot of fun, and since then we passionately hug from time to time. Bizarrely, we don't talk about it. She'll randomly ask me if I want to hang out again, and we end up doing it. Now, the reason I'm writing this is I'm sort of seeing a woman and it's getting more serious. Not sure what to do. This is the place where I'm currently living, and if I tell my landlord I don't want to bang anymore, she might make the situation awful. Also, it may not be cheating right now, but it does feel extremely uncool to the woman that I'm currently hanging out with. Not sure what to do, to be honest. But I ultimately think I need to tell my landlord we can't do it anymore. Not sure how she'll react. Cheers, Reddit! I love the mental image of OP sitting on the sofa sweating. Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go with this? But who knows what the repercussions will be? And then the second her hand touches his leg, he's like, screw it, I'm going for it. Wish me luck, fellas. All it takes is one hand on his knee and all the logic and reasoning just flies out the window. This comment from Evil Alive. I can't make rent this month. Unzip your pants. For clarity, down in the comments, OP says that he's 24. Well, OP, good luck. I hope she doesn't make your life miserable. Hopefully she can accept that you're moving on to a more, age-appropriate partner. But who knows, maybe she'll set your clothes on fire and poison your food. Good luck, OP. Maybe you'll learn the lesson. Don't poo where you eat is the nice way of saying it. YouTube won't let me say the normal phrase. Don't crap where you eat. I think I can say that. Then OP posted an update. I started searching for a new place, and I'll be honest, I found nothing comparable for the current price that I'm paying. Essentially, I'm getting a great deal at my current rental. For the exact same rental specs, I'd be spending $300 to $400 more per month elsewhere. And honestly, I'm not trying to take a $4,000 loss on a new rental. This ultimately meant that me and my landlady had to have the conversation. I was really nervous about this. My landlady is very nice, but as I mentioned in my last post, she recently went through a really bad divorce. I knew I had to approach this situation properly. I texted my landlord and asked if she would be free to chat on Friday, and she agreed. On Friday night, which was last night, I went downstairs and she was sitting on the sofa watching TV. She could already tell that I was nervous and about to say something that wasn't on the fun side. She hesitantly said, "What's wrong, OP?" I sat in silence for a few moments to gather my thoughts. I'm usually a pretty resilient guy, but in the moment, I was so nervous and sweaty. I told my landlord in a shaky voice, "I'm sorry, landlady. I've started seeing another woman and it's getting serious. I don't think that we can do it anymore. I'm sorry." She sat there staring at me for a few moments and said, "OP, you don't have to apologize. You're half my age. This was never going to be more than just casual. I really appreciate your honesty. I can see you're upset." My whole vibe changed, and I was so happy she wasn't mad. I told her over and over again how much I appreciated her and how much I love living with her. Well, the next part might not surprise most, but in the moment it did surprise me. After I showered her in compliment, she said, Well, OP, why don't we end our fling on the right note? Want to do it one more time? I was shocked, and I had to take a second to think it over. Honestly, the conversation went so well, I felt like I couldn't say no. Now, I know the comments will say, you just wanted to bang her one more time. But after such a constructive conversation, why end it on a no? I laughed and said, sounds good. This is our last time. We ended up spending time together for essentially the entire night and had breakfast together. Yeah, I bet you ate good, OP. Overall, I'm pretty happy I stepped up and had this tough conversation. Not gonna lie, I almost didn't do it. I know I'll get some criticism about us banging for one last time, but it felt like such a decent closure to the entire fling. I appreciate all the comments and advice in my last post. It truly helped me build the courage to broach the situation. Oh, OP has no willpower whatsoever. And I'm not saying that to criticize OP. He says he's just out of college, so he's probably, 22. That's the perfect time in your life to make questionable decisions that may or may not come back to bite you in the butt eventually. It's just fun. The whole paragraph of we can't do this. This is so totally wrong. Being with her would be such a terrible mistake. Hey, you want to bang? Yes, please. Opie said he had to think about it for 1 second. Do you guys honestly believe that? You think it took 1 second? I bet he said yes, please before she even finished the sentence. I hope the next last time is as much fun as this last time. Because as we all know, living with someone that you've been banging and ended on a positive note will definitely not result in more banging. 0% chance of that happening. Oh, I'm so sorry. I left my somehow my lacy thong underwear got mixed up in your laundry. What a silly mistake. I'll just grab that and just slip it on in front of you. Good luck, OP. I hope your relationship with the new girl works out. I'm a little bit doubtful, to be honest. Our next Reddit post is from I'm Doing Good. First off, this is not an all women lie post. I unfortunately know a couple of women who have been victims. I've seen the impact it's had on them, so don't start with that. Almost 6 months ago, police turned up to my door for questioning. They asked me a few questions. I'm not going to get into too many details. However, I was later arrested on suspicion of sexual assault. Once arrested, my life was turned upside down. My family believed her. My mother said she no longer had a son. My dad openly called me a blank in a pub. OP actually writes blank, so we don't know what the word is. My neighbors turned their backs on me. They looked at me with disgust. My employer put me on paid leave, obviously to avoid hurting his company's reputation. I could no longer coach a team, understandably. I am bisexual. My boyfriend and I would wake up to our house being graffitied or my tires slashed more regularly than you'd think. My boyfriend stuck by me through it all. He held my hand in public. When I saw neighbors whispering about me, we would grip my hand even tighter. He was one of a few who kept me going. Another one who kept me going was my ex. She and I have a son together. She backed me throughout. I did have to stop bringing him to my house for his safety concerns. However, I visited him most days at hers. I got to keep reading him bedtime stories and hear about his day. It meant more than she knows. 2 weeks ago, the charges were dropped. The accuser apparently drunk messaged a friend with the real story, which corroborated my version of events. That friend of hers gave the messages to the police. From there, she dropped her accusation. There were some other inconsistencies too. Since then, people have come up to me to apologize, or worse still, say, "How were we supposed to know?" My attitude going forward regarding my mother is no matter how much she apologizes, she no longer has a son. My father will never have another pint with his son. My neighbors can F off. It's oddly freeing to know who has your back. I have clarity and I'm happy again. Tomorrow, I'm proposing to my man. He's proven more than he should have needed to that he's my man. We're also moving out of the area, but closer to my son. Down in the comments, OP writes this update. My solicitor is writing on my behalf to encourage the police to charge her for false reporting. Defamation is unlikely, as accusers have some privilege that I don't really understand, but makes it protected from defamation. There's one avenue about malice that we could take, but the solicitor wasn't overly keen on that. Our next Reddit post is from Professional C. I'm a 22-year-old woman who's black, and I'm in an interracial relationship with my boyfriend, a 23-year-old white guy. We've been together for about 2 years. A couple of nights ago, we had the weirdest argument. He wanted to hang out with friends, his car is in the shop, so I drove him to the gas station, bought him some beers for the party, got myself a wine to relax, and play Red Dead Redemption 2. Then I dropped him off. I was invited, but I don't like his friends. Later, he Ubers home drunk, throws up, and I start playfully teasing him about it. Then he tries to exit my game. I thought that he was joking, so I fought back and saved, but then he completely shut off the PC. It was so random and out of character that we just went to bed. I asked him why, and he started saying things like, "I'm sorry I'm not like Arthur Morgan," and he brought up insecurities about his looks. For those who don't know, Arthur Morgan is the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 2, and he's like a sexy cowboy. I said, "You're being dumb, and I love you regardless," because I didn't know what else to say. I was so confused as to where this was coming from. He didn't like that and was still being pissy, saying that I was calling him dumb, so I went to sleep on the couch. When I came back later, he was passed out. I had a gut feeling and searched my name in his messages. I found text from 6 months ago when he briefly broke up, where his best friend told him, "I don't think she's the one for you," and "I don't like the things she's pressuring you to do." I have no clue what that means. I feel our relationship is even. I like going out to bars and restaurants with or without him. If he comes along, sometimes I pay and sometimes he does. I also do most of the cooking and cleaning and even prep his meals for the week while working and keeping the house clean. You know, woman work. I also saw him saying that I was disgusting and becoming obese after birth control. I'm not obese, I just went from severely underweight to mid-size, size 0 to size 6. Then I checked his group chat. His friends are all white and already make me uncomfortable by saying the N-word and making insensitive comments in my vicinity the first time I met them. I never wanted to be around them since. In the chat, they were sharing appalling memes like George Floyd jokes, Jewish jokes, and using the N-word casually. My boyfriend even sent a meme of a Pokemon card saying, oh god, I don't think I can say this, catching a, it's like the N-word, but you change the ending to make it sound feminine. His best friend, the one who was saying those things about me in the texts, and who I felt more comfortable around because he has biracial siblings, was in there too, sharing offensive memes. I wish I would have never seen it, because now I can't unsee it. But I'm also glad I did. How could I ever marry him or bring a biracial child into this world knowing their father is like this behind the scenes? I'm sure if I brought it up, he would apologize and try to fix it. But I don't know if I could ever look past it. I'm gutted. We live together with his family who lets us stay for free. We have 2 cats together. It'll take me a couple of months to save and move out. He can tell something is wrong, but I'm completely turned off by him now, and I don't know when or how to tell him what I saw. Then OP posted an update, which is a bit dry, so I'll just summarize to say that OP dumped him. I will read this part though. He told me one of his female friends made him uncomfortable the same night that I saw those messages. Apparently, everyone was drinking and one friend sexually harassed him and asked my boyfriend to sleep with him, and some other guys made jungle fever comments about him dating me. So that's the end of that relationship. Our next Reddit post is from Little Stupid Whore. I'm a 22-year-old guy, and I fell in love with my gym bro, a 24-year-old guy. Problem being, I thought I was straight. This all started a few months ago. I noticed this guy at my gym, and I knew something was immediately off. I was nervous to even look at him, but I decided to get rid of that nervousness and just talk to him. He was actually really nice and funny, and we quickly became buddies. Then, about 2 weeks later, my girlfriend broke up with me. I told him that, and we had a heart-to-heart where he casually came out as gay. But that initial offness that I felt when I first saw him didn't go away, and I quickly started to piece together that it was the same feeling I get when I look at a really pretty girl. And over the months, it's been increasingly hard to be... I bet it's been hard, my friend. It's been increasingly hard to be near him because he's just so gorgeous, I guess. Whenever I go to sleep, I just imagine him there snuggled up to me. I just want to text him all the time, and I just want to kiss him so bad. I guess this is me coming out as bi. I met a beautiful guy at the gym, and we became best friends. I love his personality, he makes me laugh nonstop, and not gonna lie, he's mad thick. I want to ask him out so bad. Then OP posted an update. I'm at the gym right now. We're gonna do our sets, and when we leave, I'm gonna walk him to his car and tell him. Thanks for the courage, everyone. Then OP posted another update. I'm effing crying in my car right now. Oh my god, he said yes. So I walked him to his car and I told him, and bruh, the way I couldn't speak LMAO, I was so nervous. But basically, he said he kinda thought that I was into him because I can only catch you respectfully staring at my butt so many times before it's a little sus. But I told him that I'm bi and we're going on a date Friday. But like, bruh, he looked so flustered and cute when I told him. He had the prettiest little smile, LMAO. Anyway, I guess we're a little more than just gym bros now. I seriously couldn't have done this if I didn't get so much random support. Anyways, I'm shaking. I actually did it. Bruh, I love him so much. So effing much. OP, I'm proud of you, but pump the brakes a little bit, my friend. It's a bit quick to be dropping the L-bomb here. Well, good luck, OP. I hope you guys work out. You can go pump iron and then go pump each other, I guess. That was rSlash Off My Chest, and if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.